Minimal.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on when exactly you're watching this. Another episode of Gym Day with a fucking idiot. Now today we're looking at chest day with possibly the most basic chest workout you could ever do. You're not a basic bitch, but some things just, don't need to be fixed. What's not broken shall not be fixed. But before we do, I just want to take a minute and share a couple of comments I got this week. First up, we've got one from Jeremy who says, "You weren't kidding, man. Those skull crusher to closed grip bench destroys the tries. Thanks for posting. Enjoying the tips for sure." Thanks so much for sharing your words, Jeremy. I'm glad you tried them out, and even more glad you got a good pump out of it. That's what I like to hear. Next up, we've got a message from Stacy, who said, "These videos are great. Love seeing people share this information versus gatekeeping." That's literally what all these videos are all about, making working out and fitness accessible to everybody. Thanks so much for reaching out, Stacy and Jeremy. I really appreciate the kind words and feedback. If you've got feedback or comments, always feel free to share them with me. I'd love to hear your experience with all these workouts, or anything you've got to say, really. With all that being said, let's get to today's workouts. Okay, the first thing we're looking at today is the flat bench chest press. When you think of basic gym workout in your mind, this exactly is probably what you're thinking of. The chest press is the most basic workout of all time in terms of the first workout people usually try when they go and try to lift weights and go into the gym. And I'm not going to reinvent the wheel with this one. I keep it just as basic as it gets, because if it's not broke, don't fix it. However, even though it's super simple, there's still a few things you might want to take into consideration if it's your first time trying these out. The first thing is pick a weight that's not going to kill you. I mean, that's pretty basic. Start out easy until you can push the weight for 10 to 12 reps. And if you start to get tired in the last few reps, you're in a good spot. But wait until then you can probably jump it up a little bit. Use incremental weights as you progress. And remember, the bar itself is 45 pounds. So don't forget to take that in consideration when you're choosing a weight to start at. Second, like the shoulder press, you don't want to flare your arms completely out. Instead, angle your elbows like you can see here in just a little bit to get the weight out of your shoulders and all in your pecs. And you want to keep that bar on line right about where your nipples are. That's where you want it for some of those toasty gains. And the last thing is one a lot of people don't really think about, and that's the position of your feet. You wouldn't think the feet have much to do with a chest press, but they absolutely do. If you'll notice me here, my feet are angled back slightly, sitting just under my knees. You want to keep them there or slightly behind, ensuring a stable base. This position also helps in preventing your hips from lifting off the bench, which is essential for a legal lift if you're looking to compete. And push through the balls of your feet using leg drive to assist the shoulder and chest in the initial drive of the press. To give you an idea of a good long-term goal to aim for, being able to chest press the bar with 2 plates on each side, or 225 pounds, is pretty much the basic standard for all gym goers to be able to attain. Obviously, that may need to be adjusted for the size and weight of the individual, but 225 is a pretty good long-term goal to work towards. And it pretty much means you've won in terms of the gym. Minimal. Next up, and keeping it simple once again, we're just doing an incline chest press. After crushing out some flat bench, hitting the middle of the pecs, a few sets of the incline will help round out the pump, hitting the top portion of your pectoral muscles as well. Now, one thing to note, the incline position is definitely weaker, so you probably won't be able to go as heavy on these as you can the flat bench. They're also a bit awkward to get used to when you're just starting out. The way your body sits angled, your natural push motion is out straight, which would mean you'd be pushing the weight out at an angle, but that's not what you want to do here. So you're fighting the natural movement of your body and pushing directly up and down. It's a weird movement to get used to, so just practice with lighter weight or even just the bar until you feel comfortable with it. And just like the flat, you'll want to keep your arms and elbows at the same angle and not straight across. You'll also notice I don't have clamps on the bar, which I do not recommend, but as you can see, I've got Sam spotting me here, so he can help me out if he notices it's starting to slip. If you're working out alone, I would suggest you use clamps to keep the plates from sliding, as you won't be able to keep an eye on it yourself while you're working the weight. Just focus on keeping the bar balanced and stable and push through the balls of your feet like before to help drive the weight up and down steady. I really should be going slower here to get the most out of these reps as possible, but other than that, it's pretty much fine. Minimal. All right, that's both the incline and the flat bench presses. Two of the most basic chest workouts in the gym, but even as basic as they are, there are still some little idiosyncrasies to them, and as long as you stick to this video, you'll be an expert in no time. Thanks again for watching, and thanks again to those who commented. I always appreciate feedback and comments from you guys, so keep them coming, and be sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe, and all that fun shit. And remember to use promo code RD0Dave. Radio Dave for all your SupplementWorldCanada.com purchases. That's it for this one. I am Radio Dave, you're you, and I'll see you on the next one.